Devlog number 10. So I'm currently in a situation that was bound to happen sooner or later. I've been pushing myself pretty hard to get visible things done each week for these devlogs, but this last week had me doing just a bunch of work that really barely shows up at all. The most visible thing that I changed was I was talking about this thing where I couldn't really tell visually the difference between interactive and non-interactive items in a list of things. There's a little triangle now indicating interactivity. So if you see this triangle, whoa, right, I forget how loud that sound is sometimes. Maybe I should rebalance the audio a bit. Anyway, this means it's interactive and you can click on it. Sometimes it'll take you to a new pop-up. It does bother me slightly that this points to the right, but then this comes off of it from the left. I don't know if I'll do anything about that. Maybe a slightly different symbol in here that doesn't quite suggest the same thing. They can have their own icons. If I go to... right, so stats here. Oh, I also changed the frame of these pop-ups. There was a bunch of dead space on the outside, which was bothering me. It had to do with the way I was slicing up the frame for the rounded corners and stuff. Was way more work than it felt like it should have been to change that, but it is changed now. So these are slightly smaller, tighter in here. The text overlaps a little bit with the rounded corner, but, well, it doesn't overlap, but it's the space is less between them. I think it looks better. That's not the button I wanted. So if I go to stats here, yeah, so I added icons for the category of thing that is in this usage list. This is not a great icon. I didn't know what to put here, so I just made something super quick. This indicates a resource. It's X out of Y, however many out of maximum. So energy max stat is used by the energy resource. This is a scenario thing rather than a game code thing, but I do want these icons to be different. I talked about that before, have two hearts showing up on the same screen meaning different things, two stars meaning different things. I'll fix it eventually. Anyway, this is just a formula. You go here, you'll see a formula. This is the ability icon. You won't know that other than just that you see it here and that's what it means, but that's what it is. Yeah, so some work to do on things like that. This is the spell icon. So that's a spell. I wish I could get to one of these things that's used by multiple different things in the same list, but I guess I don't have anything like that. Anyway, yeah, so that's the total visible work of what I did over the last week, other than just little tweaks from stuff that bugged me from the last devlog video. I am working on a new target selector for... this thing, so that I can actually proceed with work on the showcase scenario we've been working on. But that's not done yet, so there's nothing I can really do with it at the moment. I could add, another champion, some more abilities here, but it doesn't mean much until I can actually choose my targets. And I can only sort of choose my target right now. This is completely inadequate. I can choose target a single enemy. Which one? I don't know, just whichever one it decides to. Anyway, so I might make these devlogs a little less regular just because, it doesn't feel great to have a video like this on weeks when I don't get a lot of visible work done. The stuff I've been doing has been important, some of it. Some of it's been a little bit, 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, 1 step forward, finally get a little bit closer to where I needed to be after a few blunders. But yeah, on weeks like this in the future, I'll probably just skip the devlog video. So if you don't see one, it doesn't mean I've gone and died or something. It just means that probably I didn't have a lot to talk about, so I'll save it for a following week. Anyway, so that's what's going on with me. Progress is still going. Someday I should talk, maybe I could make that today. Talk a little bit about the time management I use for myself on this project. So one of the things I do, I have a day job, I have a Let's Play hobby, I do video game streams, I have, other things that go on too. I sleep, I eat, I go buy groceries and stuff. I do things in my life. I have a lot of things going on. But a thing that I do to make sure that I am continually making progress on this particular project is, this is kind of my top priority among all of the things that I do, in that absolutely every day, no matter what else is going on, I always ensure that I have minimum half an hour of uninterrupted work on this project. I usually get it done in the morning just so I can be sure that I've done it. And, I have a system of physical markers. I take a little like marble-like thing and put it in a cup for that day for every half-hour work unit that I've done on this game. And that structure and the ritual helps me ensure that it always moves forward. And I have an unbroken chain of work every day since November 22nd, 2018. So it's been 13 months straight now. I have done at least one half-hour work unit on this game. So that's how I'm ensuring that no matter what else is going on, I am always making some progress on this. I don't specify what has to happen in that half hour, just that I am focusing on doing something to move the game forward. And I have a big to-do list for organizing the work. Anyway, so that's been really good for me. I like that methodology. I'm sure it wouldn't work for everybody. I kind of had to structure my life around this. I make sure I'm not in situations where it would be impossible for a 24-hour period to get half an hour to myself to do this. Anyway, but that's how I make sure that I never get stalled out, I never lose my place. I'm always fresh on this project because there has not been more than a day that's gone by since I worked on it. So yeah, all that just to say that if you don't hear from me for a week or two, I am still actively working on the game. I fully intend to keep this streak going all the way up to release of this game. I will not miss a day. That is my top priority as a person right now. This is very important to me. Is this centered? Something about the way that heart icon is makes it look like it's higher than the text here. See, little things like this. This is what I get hung up on. There was some vertical centering with this that I was messing with a whole bunch. I moved it down a pixel and it looked a little better. Then I changed some other stuff, then it looked wrong and I moved it back up a pixel. That was part of what happened over the last week. Anyway, so this week wasn't a waste. It just, you can't really see much of a whole lot of results of what happened. Anyway, yeah, so my current top priority as far as the game goes is to get the target selector for this done so that we can have... Man, look at all that space. This is not my top priority, but it does bother me that there's all this empty space here. Like, it gets filled up when I put another action there with a thing here, but when it's not there like that, this just looks bad. Empty space, empty space. That's a problem for like a month from now rather than a week from now. All right. Anyway, so yeah, target selector, working hard on it. I'll be back to you when it's done, hopefully next week. But if not, then I guess you just won't hear from me until then. But once that's in, we can do some actual, some more scenario work here. That is what is holding it up. All right. So I'll see you whenever that's done.